Hello everyone, welcome to the first DTR esports race of this season. Today we're racing at the street circuit in Jeddah, the second biggest city of Saudi Arabia, with a length of 6,175 kilometers with 27 turns, with an average speed of 250 kilometers an hour. It's a very fast circuit. So let's go through the teams. We have Team SLP Sim League Pro in the Mercedes, BNL Esports in the Williams with Tusam and Jarno. I don't know both of the drivers just yet, but let's see how they can perform in this first esports race of the DTR Championship. XL Sports, XLRG and XL Zuidema are competing for them in the Ferrari. In the Red Bull we have Team RPM. RPM is a known team from some past leagues I've been racing, so good luck to Cosmo and always Rick. Of course we have our home team, Team DTR in the Aston Martin with Ben and Shabby. Shabby is our Division 1 championship contender this season. Hopefully I'll get some good battles on track with him this season. Relentless in the Alpine, Raul Nathan and Raul Jaroon are very quick drivers as well. I've known them from a few esports races already, so let's see what they can do. A really strong team in the Alpine. QVR Racing in the AlphaTauri is QVR Campbell and QVR Packer. QVR is also a really strong team, I know, so let's see what they can do at the Jeddah circuit today. Avura Racing with EVG Ragnar and Key Catterson, so let's see how they perform on this circuit as well. And NOR Esports in the McLaren with Skydrift, one of the quickest drivers around, I think, and Felixzone as well. CPI Esports with CPI Robbie and CPI Edgewu 1. So let's see what this qualifying session will bring us. Let's have a look at the current tire choices from a few drivers. I think around 8 drivers choosing for those medium tire compound on the start of this qualifying. What can they perform on this track on these tires? Let's see, CP Robbie is on a flying lap, so let's stay on board with the Alfa Romeo driver. He is driving for the CPE Esports team and also a really quick driver. I've seen him high in the time trials as well. So Jeddah, really tough circuit to keep it within the track limits. A full speed circuit, a lot of straight line speed is needed, and we will definitely see how this will pay out. CPI Robbie is now going through sector 3, picking up that straight line speed, picking up some DRS, heading into the last corner where he will prepare himself for the main straight. Let's see if he can get a good exit on those tires, and taking it really cautious, going through third gear around this corner, and he's picking up the DRS and going for a 128.1 on the medium tire, which is a pretty good lap on those tires. And let's have a look at the gaps. Nathan is on provisional pole with a 27 flat, so a good lap from Nathan on those softs as well. And Skydrift is not going to complete his lap. And let's see, one of the Williams drivers, I think it's going to be Raul Jaroon, going to cross the line. What can Jaroon do? Raul Jaroon, a really quick driver as well, at 27.1 and only 21 thousandths away from the time of Nathan. So a really strong banker lap from both of the Relentless drivers. So really strong performance from them in the first laps. Let's have a look who is the next one to cross the line. If we're going to follow XLRG in the Ferrari, picking up the DRS right now. In the softs, can he go for a high 26 on the first lap? I don't think he can. A 27.6 is his first lap, and the XL boys are lining up in the second row for now. And Shabby goes third fastest in the Aston Martin, so he will be in between the Rail team and the Axel team. A good lap from Shabby as well. And the Architect has not improved his lap time. He already is out of this qualifying session, so he will be starting at the back. And what can Ben do, the other DTR driver? Can he show DTR how it should be doing? DTR Shabby is giving him a little bit of slipstream, going out of his way now, so this will help him a lot. And he is now going for sector 2. This is a very tricky part of the circuit, really easy to invalidate your lap on that fast left corner, but he kept it on track, so good from Ben so far. What can he do in sector 2? A 57.8 in sector 2. That's not a bad lap from him so far. I know Ben can be really quick, and he's also very good in his race consistency. So let's see what the other DTR driver can do. Ben going through the final corner. Will he have a good exit? Hopefully no Verstappen into the wall in qualifying in real life last year. And he's picking up the slipstream. No slipstream. It's 27.5, and that puts the DTR team in on the second row on that banker lap. A good lap from Ben. Good job. Let's head back to RPM Always Rick. He's also on a flying lap. It's going to be his first lap. He's already on 2 lap old soft tires. And what can he do? It will be his first lap with 11 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. So let's stay on board with the RPM driver Always Rick. Oh, it's the wall on the inside there. Unfortunate for him, but no invalidation, so he can still continue his lap. And he is preparing himself for a last run on running a little wide there. Missed the apex on the inside. Picking up the DRS. What can Always Rick do? A 128.9. 1.8 seconds away from the top of the field on those 3 lap old soft tires. So I don't think he will be happy about that lap. And the other driver, RPM Cosmo, is also on a flying lap. So let's stay on board with RPM Cosmo, the other RPM driver. And he is going through a really tough part of the circuit. Also very easy to invalidate it. And that's a 31.3. Not really competitive sector 1 time, as I think the top drivers will definitely go for a low 30 or maybe a 30.5. But let's see, Cosmo is going through those S's and he is keeping it really close to the walls, and no invalidation for him so far. Not really attacking the walls, so RPM Cosmo is running a little wide, braked a little bit too late there. But no invalidation for Cosmo, so he's still going to complete his first lap. What can the RPM team do in the Red Bulls first DTR Esports race, with the home team currently on the second row? RPM Cosmo is going to cross the line with a 129.5, 2.4 seconds away from the top of the field, so that is not what they want for this start of this qualifying session. Not a lot of competitive times for the RPM team. And now we're following Jarno on for the BNL, Belgium Netherlands League. Let's see what they can do. They're driving in the Williams this season. Really attacking those corners. Taking a lot on the inside. A few drivers who haven't set their laps yet. And Jarno is really taking it very cautious, but also picking up a lot of speed out of that corner. Let's see. Oh, Jarno, a really big moment. Not sure what happened to him. Oh, I think he's lagging a lot. Preparing himself for the last corner. and picking up a good exit speed, not really close to the wall, so I think there was some time for improvement. As CPG AG1 is going quickest and Jarno goes 127.8, and the other BNL driver, our Tusum, is putting himself into the P5. So not a bad lap from both of the BNL drivers. Good job from them. Still in the top 10. That's, I think, what they aim for. And Raul Jarone goes quickest with a 126.8. What a lap! And the track evolution is improving. So the track is getting quicker and quicker, with Raul Jarone improving his time with 0.3 of a second on his first lap. So that's a good one. And Packer is just starting his hot lap, but he is taking it very slow into turn 1, so he will be preparing for another lap. And let's see who is the next one to cross the line. It's one of the Ferraris. Axel Zodema is going to cross the line with a 127.3, 4/10 up on his usual time. So that's a good lap from the Ferrari driver, and the grid is really close. The top 10 is within 1 second, so really good job from all the drivers so far. And CPG Adjuan, is he improving or is he diving into the pits? He is diving into the pits, so unfortunate for him. And Felixson, and I think it's going to be Skydrift who is going to, one of a really quick driver is Skydrift. What can he do? A 126.8, and he goes to the provisional pole time, 13 thousandths faster than the time of Jerome. And Shabby even is going quicker as well. Look at the top 3 guys within 1/10 of a second. We are preparing ourselves for an amazing race as qualifying is so freaking close. A good job from all the drivers so far, especially at the front. And let's see, one of the AlphaTauris is probably backing up the whole field, and Axel is preparing himself for another lap. I think he's going into the pits, so let's see. And so is Felixson. So all the drivers are going to prepare themselves for the last qualifying lap. But Nathan isn't, so let's stay on board with Nathan. He is 2/10 away. What can he do in sector 2? Is he improving? He is definitely improving with 3.5 of a 10 of a second, which is good enough for provisional pole. He now needs to nail that last sector, and 3/10 will bring him up into a 126 or maybe even a 7. So Nathan preparing himself for the last corner. Can he have a good exit out of that corner? And yes, he can. Nathan, is he going to provisional pole? He is definitely covering the inside, and a 126.7, 3.5 10 up, and that's a 26.7. What a lap from Nathan. What a lap. And Nathan is probably not having enough time for another lap, so all the drivers are preparing themselves for another lap. A really good lap from Nathan. And the Relentless team is definitely having a good qualifying so far. And all the drivers are now going out for that last qualifying lap. Who will take pole position in this first DTR championship? The first time around we have a DTR championship series, so really looking forward to the first race in Jeddah. Really quick circuit where overtaking is really possible. And RPM Cosmo is going for another lap, and so is Always Rick. So let's stay on board with Always Rick. He will be the first driver to cross the line in his last lap. And runs wide, picks up an invalidation, so he will need to go for another one. And what can his teammate do? His teammate is going through the S's and runs a little bit wide, and that will give him an invalidation as well. And Nathan is diving into the pit, so he will not be continuing on his flying lap. And I think this was his qualifying. I don't think he has enough time. No, 2 minutes and 30 minutes remaining. Let's stay on board with one of the QVR drivers who haven't set a solid lap yet. So what can the AlphaTauri do? Can QVR surprise us? They are currently sitting in P17 and P19. So the QVR team is definitely aiming for some good improvement this lap. A 31. That's a really strong lap from the QVR driver so far. A good first sector. And now he needs to nil sector 2 and sector 3. Currently in P17. Wolves are so close. He is taking it very, very quick so far. Let's see sector 2. What can he do? He is currently up 3 seconds on his usual time. And of course he has a 1:36 on our boards at the moment. So he will definitely improve a lot in the last sector, where he will pick up a little slipstream of Shabby. What can QVR Campbell do? He is going through the start finish line in a moment. What can he? Can he surprise us all with a good lap time? A 1:26.8, and that puts him in P2. What a good lap from Campbell. And one of the Haas's is also on a flying lap. What can the Haas driver Ragnar do? And Ragnar will be doing a 27.4, and that puts him in P11. So not a bad lap from Ragnar. And always Rick is 6 tenths up in sector 2. Will he go for a 27.8, and that puts him in P14. So that was the last qualifying lap from him. And Zuidema, is he able to improve his lap time? I don't think he is, so he will be starting another one. Let's stay with some of the quickest drivers. Rel Jeroen, will he be able to improve his lap time and challenge his teammate? Rel Jeroen is really looking wide there, a little bit too early on the throttle, and gets it still within the track limits. What will sector 1 time be? A 30.0, 1.5 10 up. So already into provisional pole time for Rel Jeroen. We're going to stay aboard with this driver. And the qualifying has been ended. Rel Jeroen is looking very quick so far. Will he take that pole position spot? Rel Jeroen 3 tenths up in sector 2, and that's a really strong time from Rel Jeroen. Rel Jeroen, is he going to take provisional pole? And look at Packer, the other QVR driver. He puts himself in provisional pole with a 1:26.7. A really good lap from Packer. But Rel Jeroen, is he going to improve that? He is going to pick up the DRS. Is he able to go into a low 26, a 26.5, and that's 1.5 10 away from the rest of the field as it stands. A really good lap from Rel Jeroen. And Shabby is in the pits, so no improvement by him. Will one of the CPR drivers be able to compete that time of Jeroen? CPI H1, is he going to improve? It's 26.8 and 3 tenths away, and his qualifying has been finished as well. Tutum, is he improving? No, he has an invalidation, so that's unfortunate for him. And Ben is also in the pits. Ragnar is not on a flying lap, and Rick isn't on a flying lap as well. So this was our qualifying session of today. Jeroen taking pole position ahead of Packer. Rel Nathan on the second row in P3. So it's Rel against QVR in the first laps of this race. But don't count out Skydive, Adjuan, DTR Shabby, who are just within 4 tenths. So this is going to be very close in the race. So we're making ourselves up for an amazing race. but the current leaders of this qualifying are the Relentless team and the QVR team, locking up the front and second row. So what are your predictions for today's race? Who do you think will gain victory around the Jeddah circuit today? Of course, we have seen Jeroen with an amazing qualifying pace. We're having a 26.5, which is very amazing. Packer in second, Nathan in third, Campbell in fourth, Skydrift in fifth, AG1 in sixth, Shabby in seventh for the DTR team, Axel in eighth, Felixstone in nine. Twosome for the BNL R8 team is in 10th and finishing off the top 10 qualifying, and the rest of the drivers have a really tough job to do. Let me know in the comments, what are your predictions for today's race? Let's get some interaction in the chat. From the team you are supporting, which driver is going to be the best on the race pace conditions? Because you can always have a good qualifying lap, but it's all depending on your race pace and racecraft. No mistakes is possible in this race with such a close grid. And don't forget, we are driving esports, so a lot of fast drivers. So let me know who you think is going to get a win for that team. And all the drivers are preparing themselves for the formation lap. And let's have a look at the tire choices from all the drivers. Of course, the top 10 have been starting on the softs, and from outside the top 10 we have Zudema, Liam, Ben, Jarno, Always Rick, Architect and Jackson going for an alternate strategy. Of course, it's really great to see which driver will be the best on their tires. So let's have some predictions in the chat, and let me know who do you think is going to get this win today. First round of the DTR Esports League. Currently the point system is the same as real F1, so the top 10 will score points, and you can gain 1 point extra for the fastest lap. So let's have a good look on the grid. From the home team DTR, Shabby is qualified into P7, so not a bad qualifying session from him, but we all know that Shabby can be so quick in the race conditions, so I think Shabby can end on the podium knowing his race pace, but we all know that the Relentless guys are so quick as well. Heading into the final corner, we are preparing ourselves for the first race in the DTR Esports League, with the Relentless guys and QVR looking the front row and the second row. So let's have a look and just see how the start will go. So the last driver in Jackson in the Mercedes is now forming up. So let's get a good camera view on the start of this race. And we're almost ready for the first race of the DTR Esports League. And we have all red light going out now. And away we go for the first race in this DTR Esports League. With a really good start from Route Room. But look at QVR Packer already on the inside, but look at how close the grid is, and QV Parker, can he go for a really good move into turn 1? And yes, he is. And the Rel Nathan and Rel Jeroen having a really good start, and the Rel boys are locking up P1 and P2. Really good start from the Relentless team. QV Alpaca in P3, losing 1 position, and Campbell still in P4. Skydrift in P5, looking to have a go on these guys as well. And looking at QV Alpaca already on the inside now, side by side going with Nathan, and Nathan keeps ahead. So still the Relentless are flying away. Look at Jeroen, already 1.3 seconds away from the rest of the field. Looking further behind, we have Skydrift already within 1/10 of a second to QVR Campbell and CP. And we're also having a battle between Robbie and Sodoma. Sodoma probably picking up some damage because he is falling back. Somehow it was a really clean start of this Grand Prix. 25 laps around this circuit. Really thinking that it's going to be hard for all the drivers to keep their focus with such close walls. And look at QV Parker going on the outside now of Nathan. Nathan is defending the inside. QV Parker choosing different lines compared to Nathan, but Nathan stays ahead. And good defending from the Relentless driver, and Jeroen is flying away. Looking a little bit further behind, we have Skydrift definitely putting the pressure on the other QVR Campbell. And let's have a look at CPI AG1, who is also really close behind to Skydrift. So Jeroen has a confident lead, 2.2 seconds after 2 laps. So Jeroen is flying away from the whole field, which is very great to see. And I'm hearing that Nathan has got some damage, but not sure if he has. Look at Packer, he is right behind him and definitely at his back, looking to go for a move. And Packer is going to the outside now to Nathan. Nathan is covering the inside, going side by side in the last corner. Packer is looking to have a good exit, but Nathan still keeps in front. But the DRS has now been enabled. Not this corner, but will be in the next one. And Nathan is covering the inside, and look at Packer going on for a move on the inside and going on the outside now, going side by side, gets pushed a little bit wide and collided with the wall, which is very unfortunate, and that will lose him 2 positions with that battle. Very unfortunate for Packer. Packer probably picked up some damage, or his tires are really hot at this stage. Packer is struggling and struggling. Will his tire temps be an issue for him in this race so far? He had a little moment to the wall. Hopefully he didn't pick up any damage from that, but he is all under pressure from CPI AG1. Will AG1 be able to go for a move in the next straight, because the DRS is enabled and Packer is losing positions and losing a small amount of time to Skydrift, and I don't think he has picked up damage. The DRS has been enabled, so this will be an opportunity for AG1 going on the outside now. It's all about that straight line speed, but look at Packer braking really late and covering the inside, which didn't allow AG1 to overtake him. Look at QVR Campbell having a look on Nathan, and he gets the move while Skydrift is on the inside now of Nathan as well. So Nathan losing 2 positions there on the main straight, which is very unfortunate for the Relentless driver. And we have always Rick in the wall in sector 1, and this will allow a safety car, the first safety car of this race. And what are the drivers doing now? Will they make an early pit stop and go for a two-stop strategy, or will they even pit for the hard tires? This is going to be very interesting. Always Rick, the first driver who haven't finished his race, the first DNF of this race as well. So currently leading Raul Jeroen 4.8 seconds. Really unfortunate for him that he is losing a 4.8 second gap. So Jeroen is not going to be happy about this safety car. But nevertheless, will he go for an early pit stop, or will he stay out on the tires he started on? Let's have a look. Current positions changes. QVR Campbell winning 2 positions. A good start from the QVR driver. Skydrift winning 2 positions as well. Nathan losing 1 position, and Packer losing 3 positions, which is a very unfortunate stuff from the QVR driver. CPA H1 is in 6th, no positions lost from him, and everyone is diving into the pits except Skydrift. And so isn't Tusum, so isn't Soudema, and so isn't Liam. Because those medium runners are definitely happy with that safety car. And the rest of the grid are going for the mediums as well. No one decided to pit for the hard tires. So let's see, the top 7 haven't made a pit stop yet, and so didn't Darge Decked. He is still on the soft tires. He started on as well, on the mediums I mean. And this is definitely going to be interesting, Brent. This is definitely going to be interesting. Skydrift didn't make that pit stop. So he's going for a different strategy compared to the other drivers like Jerome, Nathan, Campbell, who have made their pit stop. And Jackson is currently in P19, 36 seconds away from the rest of the field, but he is allowed to close up. In the couple of laps we are behind the safety car. But let's stay on board with the current leader of this Jeddah Grand Prix. Of course he needs to make a pit stop, but still he is choosing an alternate strat. And how quick can the drivers like Jerome, Campbell, Nathan go through the field on those fresh medium tires? And still going 1 lap behind the safety car, and Jackson is still not gaining a lot of time, and now he is 28 seconds. And did Jackson make his pit stop as well? He already made 3 pit stops, so he unfortunately had a lot of damage driving for the Sim League Pro Esports team. So currently, who's the best team on the grid so far? Of course, some drivers needs to make their pit stop, but the BNL team is gaining the most points as it stands. But we all know that the Relentless guys are quick, like really quick. I think the safety car will come in this lap. So really important to get your tires on the right temperature after the restart, because if your tires are cold you will lose a lot of time compared to the drivers who haven't warmed up their tires. And I think we are going to keep an eye on Jerome, currently sitting in P8. Definitely willing to gain some positions after the restart. And yes, the safety car is in his lap. The lights are out of the safety car. So Skydrift is going to set the pace for the restart. When will we go? I think one of the possibilities to go is right before the corner and focus on that exit speed. And having a really good camera view. Right now, left bottom, we have Skydrift already going, and as I said before, he is already focusing on his exit, and he's already going. Oh, a really big moment out of that corner, and we have someone spinning around. It's Liam Gregg, not warming up his tires, as I said before. Really unfortunate for the SLP team. And a really good restart from all the drivers, except from Ragnar, who is holding up the field. And Jerome is already on the outside now of Ibany, and he gets the move done and already moves himself into P6, but the front runners are running away with it on those soft tires. So Jerome is definitely trying to get through the field as quick as possible. And Skydrift is pulling away from Tucson. And look at Ibany under pressure of Campbell. Ibany is covering the inside, but look at Campbell on the outside, going side by side, really clean racing. And look at Campbell has made the move stick and pushing Ben a little bit wide, but really hard racing from the QVR driver, and that's allowed. You can race hard. And Ben is struggling with those tires. Of course, the drivers right behind him are on the fresh medium, so they will have an advantage. And let's have a look. Sudama is really battling for P2 on the grid and looking to have a really good go on those medium tire compound. 410s, no DRS has been enabled, so he needs to do it with his ERS. And is he going for a move? Sudama is not close enough to make a move, so he needs to wait for the next DRS straight. And look at Tucson struggling on those soft tires on the exit. Really struggling with the traction. But Sudama is not going to be close enough. But will we have a good exit? The DRS being enabled now will definitely... No, the DRS is not enabled. Sorry for that. And Jerome already at the back of Ragnar. And look at Jerome really flying around the circuit of Jeddah. And Jerome is definitely going to get past on the next straight, or maybe even before. He's definitely picking up the slipstream. And look at Sudama going side by side, having a look on the inside and already making the move. And this will allow Tucson to pick up the slipstream. And will we go for a switchback move, or will we just stick right behind Sudama? And Rogeron gets the move done on Ragnar as well. Look at Tucson. Tucson is now going to pick up the slipstream. He is close enough for a move into turn 1. The DRS has been enabled again. Look at Tucson on the inside now to Sudama. Late braking from Tucson, going side by side into turn 1, and Sudama pushes him a little bit wide, but the exit speed of Tucson is really impressive, but he is backing off, and knowing that the soft tire compound is degrading compared to Sudama's mediums. But nevertheless, we have Jerome right behind as well. So the battle for P2 continues. And right behind we have a lot of close battles on track, so let's see. A little bit further behind we have CPI Robbie and Ben going side by side. A good view from the POV of Packer going side by side into the fast right-hander and the fast left-hander, and CPI Robbie gets moved on Ben. Ben really struggling on those medium tires which he started on, and the guys behind and around him are on the fresh medium tires. And look at Ben. Oh, Ben is in the wall. Oh, a little bit of a moment there for Ben. Very unfortunate. And this is not gonna help. Look at Jerome going for a double move. Jerome taking 2 positions, but now he needs to defend because he has no DRS left. He needs to defend from Zuidema. But will this DRS be strong enough for Zuidema to overtake Jerome? I don't think. So Jerome is back in P2 and now going to close the gap to Skydrift, who still needs to make his pit stop. But Skydrift will be on the faster tire when he makes his pit stop. So it's going to be very interesting what Skydrift's strategy will be. And let's look a little bit further behind. A lot of close battles ongoing. Nathan as well. Nathan is closing into Ragnar. And let's have a look at the tire situations at this stage of the race. He is battling a 9-lap soft driver who haven't made their pit stop. So this will be an easy overtake for Nathan, because those mediums will definitely work better in this situation of the race. So when will Nathan be able to make the move? Ragnar is still in the DRS range of Campbell. So oh, what's happening to Jarno? Jarno is losing it, one of the Williams drivers. Jarno is not going well so far. He loses it, and that's unfortunate because the BNL team is now in 16th and 17th position. And Skydrift is in the pit, so he's making his first pit stop. He will fall back a lot of places, but he's definitely going for the one-stop strat. And we have another safety car being deployed, the second safety car of this race, and this is going to be helping Skydrift for sure, unless the other drivers are pitting. And I think, oh, look at that, Cosmo's in the wall out of turn 4. Very unfortunate for Cosmo. And both RPM drivers are out of this race, so no points for them. No chance of points for them. And Rogeroon is back where he belongs, into P1. Zuidema is in P2. Will he go for a pit stop right now? I think he should. But I'm really curious what he will do on those 10-lap old medium tires. But let's stay on board with the leader of this race, Jerome. Is he going to make his second pit stop? He is 5 laps driving on those tires. Will he extend his tires till the end of this race? And Jarno gets a 3-second time penalty in the safety car conditions. So that's not really good for him. And let's see, is Jerome going for his second pit stop, or will he extend his current stint? No, he is not going for a second. But look at Zuidema. Zuidema is diving into the pits. Which tire is he choosing? Is he choosing the soft tires? And Shabby is in the pits as well, so a few drivers who have pitted for those mediums are diving into the pits and switching to some fresh soft out of the mediums. Very curious what they will do, and Zuidema is switching to the hards. So a lot of different strategies from all the drivers so far. And Zuidema pitted and is still in P7, so making a lot of positions. 4 positions gained for him, and Ragnar has made 6 positions, and he made his pit stop for the fresh mediums as well. Really good call by the Evora Racing team. Really good to see all those different strategies. And yes, Brent Zuidema is on hards. A really tricky choice on this circuit especially. So the top 5 drivers haven't made their pit stop for the second time, and right behind we have Tusum on those 1 lap old mediums, so he has an advantage of 5 laps compared to the front runners. And right behind we have Ragnar on the mediums, Skyder on the mediums, Shabby on the mediums, and a few drivers on the softs as well. So we're going to have a lot of different strategies, which is really good to see. But we're going to see Jerome currently leading the whole field around the Jeddah circuit. The pace of Jerome is insane, to be saying. Another lap behind the safety car, so we will have 13 laps of racing if we will be racing after this. 12 laps, I think. So what are your thinkings about the tire choices from a few drivers? Have the top 5 made a good choice to stay out on those 7 lap old mediums, or have the drivers who have made their pit stop for the second time made a really good decision to take the advantage on those tires compared to the front runners? And I think the safety car will go in this lap because the whole field has bunched up. Ben in last place. He definitely wants to get some positions off the start. We all know Ben, he can be quick in DTR. So expecting a lot from him after the safety car restart. But this man is the man to watch. Jerome, can he get this stint till the end and keep the pace he has at the beginning? He's running 7 lap old mediums, and the safety car is going in this lap, so we are preparing ourselves for the safety car restart with Jerome leading, Campbell in second, Nathan in 3, Adjuan in 4, Bakker in 5, Tusum in 6, Zuidema in 7 on the hot, really tricky choice. Ragnar in 8, Skydrift on fresh mediums as well, so is Shabby. So really looking forward to the restart. When is he going? And he's still waiting. Jerome is still waiting, not doing the same thing as Skydrift. Going before the corner, and there he goes, Jerome is going, and look at the other Nathan is really awake, and already having a look on the outside now to Campbell, and Nathan is braking late, still on the inside there of Campbell, and going side by side, and will this be an opportunity for Nathan to get the overtake done? No, he still sticks behind the QVR driver, so QVR Campbell has defended that attack really well, and now Nathan is still in P3. Nathan is on the hunt, we can all see that. And look at Skydrift already up 2 positions after the safety car restart, so a really good restart from Skydrift. On the fresh mediums at the back of the Zuidema, who is on the hards, wanting to get past as quick as possible. Let's have a look. Some close battle. CPI Robbie on those soft tires is definitely a man to watch as well, especially in those first laps after the safety car restart. He's on the fresh softs and already looking to have a go on the inside there on Skydrift, but he is backing off and still waiting for the right moment to get the overtake done, and gets a really good run out of that corner. But we all know that it's a really tricky track to make your overtake. And look at Tusum already on the inside of Packer, and Tusum and Packer going side by side into the last corner and now heading into turn 1. But look at Tusum, he is picking up the slipstream, just sticking right behind Packer, and right behind them we have Skydrift overtaking Zudema as well, and Robbie is also overtaking Zudema, so Zudema definitely struggling. And look at Robbie on the outside now, going side by side, pushed a little bit wide there, going side by side into that corner is a really difficult one. And Campbell has made the move again on Nathan, so he's back in P2. Really strong drive from the Relentless team and QVR Campbell and the QVR team to be fair. But a man to watch is Skydrift as well, and the Ferrari team, the Axel drivers are changing positions. Axel on the fresh softs, so it's really hard to follow everything because a lot of battles ongoing. And look at CPE Adrian, who is really close to Nathan. Of course he has a penalty, so he needs to get past as quick as possible and gain himself at least 3 seconds. And look at Adrian not having a really good exit there, and Jerome gets the fastest lap with a 33 and already 1.6 seconds away from the rest of the field. Jerome really dominating this race so far. So a really strong drive from him, no mistakes being made by him. Look at Skydrift, who is on the inside now to Tusum. Is Skydrift going for a late braking move? And yes he is. Skydrift pushes Tusum a little bit wide and still going side by side. It's still going well for those drivers, really hard racing but clean and fair. Of course it's hard to give each other that room into those corners, but they're keeping it clean, and that's what's most important. And Skydrift on the inside too, Packer, late braking move from Skydrift, and he is definitely making up position. A really good restart from the NMR driver, so really strong performance from him after that safety car restart. And now he needs to start up, closing that gap to the front 4, 1.3 seconds away, and he's on the quicker tire. And Tusum, and we have Shabby having a battle with Packer. Packer having struggles, losing a lot of positions after that safety car restart. Did he pick up any damage from that? And the battle between Nathan and Campbell continues. Campbell is just letting Nathan go, picking up that DRS right now within 0.4 of a second, so he will have a go into turn 1. And look at Adrian as well, he is joining that party, going 3 wide into turn 1, and Campbell is waiting and going side by side with Adrian, having a little bit of contact, but still Campbell is keeping his car and his nose in front to Adrian, who was looking to go for a double overtake, but it didn't work out for him. And Jerome is still building up his lead to almost 3 seconds now, which is very impressive. The pace of Jerome is very impressive around this circuit. And CPI Robbie has got paused Skydrift on those soft tire compound. And will there be any team orders for the CPI team here? And yes, Nathan, it's a bit of a squeeze, but it's really hard to go side by side racing on this circuit, especially into sector 1. So a little bit of wheel banging, which should be allowed in my opinion. And look at Campbell, who is definitely going to pick up that DRS and definitely willing to have a go into turn 1. It's a little bit of a yo-yo effect ongoing between these two. Look at Campbell on the inside now, and he is taking that P2 spot of Nathan. He gets a good run out of that last corner and gets in front. A little bit of a moment, a really oversteering moment, but Nathan is still behind. And look at Robbie. And look at Robbie on those fresh soft tires, willing to get past as quick as possible, and maybe even able to close the gap. Oh, a little bit of a moment from Robbie as well. And will we even have an opportunity to close in to Jerome on the softs? And currently we have, let's have a look at the penalty situations between all the drivers. 3 seconds for AG1. Jarno having 12 seconds of penalties, which is a lot, to be fair. Becker having 3 seconds, and the Architect having 3 seconds as well. So not a lot of penalties have been handed out so far. And the biggest winner on track is Roby, who is going for another move as well. He is closing into Nathan on those fresh soft tires, and we have a 3-way battle between Campbell, Nathan and Robbie. Will there be a 3-way battle into turn 1 as well? The DRS has been enabled and it's going to be very close. Look at this. Will we have some spectacle ongoing? And look at Robbie, he's going right behind Nathan, and will we go for a move on Campbell? He gets the move done, and what a really good move by Roby to follow Nathan on that outside line. Really good racing and good racecraft from the Alfa Romeo driver and the CPI Esports. Robbie definitely on the quicker tire, and you can see the pace difference between the softs and the mediums. But after a few laps this will definitely turn around. And look at Nathan going for the switchback, and he is definitely racing Robbie here. Knowing that Robbie is on the quicker tire, still defending for his life and doing that crazy switchback move. And Robbie is going for a move on Nathan. Nathan is just going to stick right behind him to pick up the DRS. And Jeroen is already 5 seconds away. And Adrian is making the move on Campbell. And Skydrift and Shabby are joining them. Oh! What's happening? Campbell is losing it. Did Shabby pick up any damage? Yes, he has. The right front wing, the DTR driver, has picked up some damage from that collision. And this is very unfortunate for the DTR team at this stage of the race, and Nathan is getting in front of Roby, and the Relentless team is going for 1-2 here. Very unfortunate for the DTR team, who are currently last, and QVR, who are really quick as well, are last as well. So unfortunate drive from both of the teams. Ben is snatching that fastest lap with a 28.5, and with a few laps remaining, Jeroen is in a very confident lead and is probably going to get this win if he doesn't make any mistake. And Roby is just going to stick behind Nathan on this one, knowing that he doesn't need to take too many risks. He has the quickest tire at this stage of the race. Is he going for a move? His red lights are flashing, so he's low on the ERS deployment. Nathan is just going to stick behind and get a good exit out of this corner to overtake him and get a good exit, but Robbie gets a good exit as well. But if you are within 0.5 of a second, you will definitely have a good run to make the overtake. And as I say that, Nathan has overtaken Robbie, so on them. We have a yo-yo effect as well. A little bit playing on positions between these two drivers. And look at Felixson, who made the move on Tusum. Right behind, further behind, we have the Williams team. BNL RA are driving their hearts out on the mediums. Jarno has a 12-second time penalty, so he will fall back a lot of positions. And let's head back to the front between Skydrift, who is joining that party as well, and so is Excel on the softs. And Robbie, is he still going to make that move into the last corner? I think it's a smart choice to stick right behind him and go for the last straight. And I think he's still going to make the move stick. Yes, he is. But, oh, look at Nathan, who's on the inside. And that will allow... Oh! A little bit of contact, and that's Roby's wing. Roby's wing is off. And no, it's Nathan's wing. No, Nathan! Cutting the pit entry. Hopefully, Robbie didn't pick up any damage from that collision as well. Well, Nathan has picked up some damage from that battle with Robbie. Very unfortunate. And Skydrift is now on a charge. Right behind Roby. He's on the mediums with 4 laps remaining. He's on a fresh tyre. And so is Excel. And as being asked, could we see the tyres? Here are your tyres. 16 lap old mediums for Jerome, and still having some amazing pace, which is... Jerome is so quick around this track. And Roby on the 9 lap old soft tyres. When will his tyres be degrading for Skydrift to make the overtake? And Nathan and Roby have collided in the last corner. A little bit of oversteer from Nathan or Roby into the last corner, which caused them hitting the wall. Which unfortunately didn't pay out well for Nathan. And Roby is still within. Look at Excel, is really putting the pressure on Skydrift on those 9 lap softs. And now the tires are pretty average, with 3 laps remaining in this first DTR Esports Racing Series, round 1 Jeddah. And Roby runs a little wide, but he kept it on track and is now, his tires are degrading. 10 lap old softs. And look at Skydrift, but he picked up a penalty. And Jarno is in the wall. Or did he retire into the pits? Yes, he retired into the pits. So, unfortunate for the Belgian Netherlands esports team. And Skydrift have to pick up a penalty, so that's not going to help him. So this will mean that Excel RG is currently on a provisional podium spot here. Really strong drive from the Excel driver. But Jerome is really confident on the lead. 5.8, still building up that gap by a few tenths a lap. So I think... a man who is nobody able to touch today around the Jeddah circuit. And look at Excel, he's going side by side with Skydrift. The Skydrift's pace is lacking now, with Adrian and Felixson all overtaking. And Skydrift is losing a lot of positions. And Skydrift is having damage, so he needs to make his pit stop. So a lot of quick drivers who have made some mistakes, which is very unfortunate, because they have the pace to be at least on the podium. Oh my, there's a lot of happening. But now we have CPI Robbie, Excel RG and Felixson fighting for the podium. And with Also AG1 right behind, but he has a penalty, so I don't think he will be able to get a podium spot unless one of the drivers are making a mistake. So heading into the last laps of this first race of the season, with going Excel on the inside now, looking to have a go on that overtake, but he is still sticking right behind. Excel is definitely aiming for a P2 spot here. Look at Excel, the pace is there on the inside now to Roby. Roby has no DRS. Roby defending the inside from Felixstone as well. Felixstone on the outside now, going wheel banging into the last corner, but he gets the move stick. And now Felixstone is right behind Excel. And will Felixstone even be able to go for P2 spot? He is on the mediums, and I think those mediums are definitely the best tire to be on after those 2 lap H of the tires. And RG is definitely struggling. Look at Felixstone, he is 1/10 away, and those mediums are working really well for him. And look at Felixstone, he is picking up the DRS right now. Will we go for an early move into this stage of the race with the last lap running? I'm sorry, Jerome, if I miss your finish today, but this battle is one to watch. And RJ gets a really good exit, and so does Felixstone. And I think this will be a battle till the very last end between these two. At least these three maybe. The DRS has been enabled, and Excel is definitely aiming to defend on the inside, but look at Felixstone. Felixstone is taking P2, and look at Roby is taking P3 of Excel, and Excel is looking to have a look on the inside. The foul, and it hits the wall. CPI Roby hits the wall, and who is going to get the other podium spot? And it's going to be Roby and Felixstone. Felixstone finishing in P2, but look at the winner, the dominant winner, Jerome, who is finishing in P1, Felixstone in P2, Roby in P3, Excel, RG in P4. A really great battle at the end of this Grand Prix. AG1 in P5, Sudema still on those hard tires, managing to get that P6 is very impressive from him as well. Ragnar in P7, Tusum in 8, Jackson in 9, the Architect in P10, picking up the last points. So good points for the Evora Racing team after that bad qualifying. Nathan in P11, no points for him, unfortunately, after that incident in the last races, in the last laps. And what an opener has this been. Looking forward to more. We have seen some very clean battles. Of course, hard racing we've seen, but look at this man at the top of the podium, holding his trophy to celebrate his dominant win. Rel Jeroen taking the first win of this DTR Esports race. A Dutch driver on the top spot of the podium. A McLaren driver, the NLR Felixstone, who has drove an excellent race as well in P2, and Robbie as well for the CPI team. Three different teams on the podium, which is a very good start of this esports league. So let's go through the final standing once again. Jeroen taking the win. Felixstone, really strong drive from the German driver into P2. Robbie 3, RG in 4, AG1 in 5th, Excel in Sudema in 6, Ragnar in 7, Tusum in 8, Jackson 9, the Architect in 10, Nathan in 11, Ben 12, Skydrift in P13, Campbell in 14, Shabby in 15, Packer in 16, Liam in 17, Jarno in 18, Cosmo and Always Rick in 19 and 20. So thank you everyone for being able to watch this race, this opener, and hopefully we will see you next week, where we will be racing at, let's see, we will be racing at the Bahrain circuit. So let's hopefully we can see you next week, and have a good evening.